So much for joining us. I'm Reagan Scott. After deliberating for a day and a half, jurors say former House Speaker Pete Kott is guilty of public corruption 3 times over and not guilty of the most minor charge. CBS 11's Matthew Simon was in court when the verdict came down and has the very latest from our newsroom.
It was an extremely tense courtroom filled with mostly government officials. Moments after Kott's conviction, his daughter and girlfriend seemed to hold up the fallen former lawmaker.
Disappointed in the verdict.
That is all former House Speaker Pete Kott wanted to say moments after his conviction. He emerged a silent man, far different from the man jurors came to know on the stand and on secret recordings.
Get her done. Oh yeah, we're very disappointed.
Kott's lawyer Jim Wendt echoed his client and promised an appeal.
The jury instructions I felt were a little ambiguous.
Jurors found Kott guilty of bribery, extortion, and conspiracy. Kott took nearly $12,000 in VICO bribes. He also thought he would get a VICO job if he performed Bill Allen and Rick Smith's wishes in the legislature. VICO thought Kott's payoff would eventually deliver them billions of dollars.
Promising of a job, the $7,793.
That is what juror number 1 felt the overwhelming evidence was. Monday, she wrote a letter to the judge saying other jurors were putting uncomfortable pressure on her. Today, she says beyond a reasonable doubt, Kott is guilty.
We got around the table, discussed everything, went over everything, you know, and that's how we found him guilty on the 3 and not guilty on the wire fraud, because there was not enough evidence on the wire fraud.
Governor Palin, who watched a small portion of the trial, had this to say: "I was shocked by some of the revelations that came out in the trial and can understand why many Alaskans feel betrayed. But I am confident that this conviction is also a step forward to restoring the public's trust."
Kott is now a free man. He will be sentenced December the 7th. Prosecutors have wanted him to pay $25,000 to get out of jail. The judge denied that request. In the newsroom, Matthew Simon, CBS 11 News.
And the corruption surrounding Pete Kott has been going on for at least 2 years. According to testimony in September of 2005, Kott called then VICO Vice President Rick Smith asking for a job. That's when Smith told him, "Get us a pipeline and you've got a job." Then in January 2006, as the legislature was getting ready to meet, Kott called then VICO Chief Bill Allen to ask for instructions on what to do. In May of 2006, during debate on the House floor on oil taxation, Allen and Smith called Kott by cell phone and told him how to vote. Well, later that night, Kott told Allen he had to, quote, cheat, steal, beg, borrow, and lie to defeat an amendment for a higher oil tax rate. In August 2006, FBI agents raided Kott's office along with several other key lawmakers, including then Senate President Ben Stevens. In May of this year, Kott was indicted for conspiracy to commit extortion and bribery. On September 5th, right before jury selection, a judge separated Kott's trial from former Representative Bruce Wyrock. And once again, today, a jury found Kott guilty on 3 charges of bribery and extortion, but not guilty on wire fraud charges. Well, Kott is far from the only one